and beginning to turn the tide in the strategic battle against Riddick Bowe.
Donald is starting to jab to Riddick Bowe's body. Bowe should never allow him to touch his body. Then that big right hand that he's been saving up all night will have no pop, no punch in it when it happens. No power. Good jab by Riddick Bowe.
That's what Bowe ought to do, isn't it, George? He should go back to the jab and begin taking over the fight tactically again.
Almost too late to change boats in the middle of the stream, although he's doing it well. The jab is Bowe's weapon. If he continues to use it, he can get.
There's how Donald counters when Bowe comes too far forward. You saw the former champion lunge, and you saw Larry counter perfectly up underneath.
Good jab again by Riddick Bowe.
This is with the right hand.
Now Donald wants Bowe jabbing, but jabbing forward, so he's going off balance, waiting until his right foot catch up with the left. You don't want him jabbing standing still. Well, he's standing still, Donald.
Come on, work out it. You guys work out. Come on, work out. Punch out. Work out. All right, let him go. Come on. Come on, let him go. Let him go. Come on, you guys. Come on.
Unfamiliar territory with a puncher in the late rounds like this.
Get him on. Come on.
Their way through this 7th round. But by a narrow margin, you get the impression, really, that Donald is a little bit more in command of his game than is Bowe right at this moment.
Donald's a little overconfident. He's standing and waiting and watching, and this could happen to him. Boom, a right hand.
Work out. Work out. Two-handed. Work on it.
But that brings up a debate, George. Do you think of Bowe as a big puncher?
Bowe is a big puncher, but he has to have 2 or 3 together. He can't do it with one. Why even think like that? He stuns you and then comes back with the hook. And when you throw that right hand, you got to think hook.
Now it's Donald who turns Bowe into the ropes and lands a couple of body shots.
But he still has to back away once he finishes doing what he's going to do.
Time! Ho, 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 ho.
Okay.
You're hesitating too long. You got to get in a better place. You got to throw more punches. The punch count is lower up there. You got to get the punch count up.
Okay.
He's going to be tired. Let him be tired. Pick up your pace. Pick up your pace. Come on, man. Pick up your pace. This is number 8. You ain't throwing enough.
Harold Letterman, 7 rounds, your score.
Larry, I think Larry Donald's closing the fight up. I mean, making it a lot closer. I got it 4-3, 67-66, Riddick Bowe, but I gave rounds 5, 6, and 7 to Larry Donald because I thought that he used that movement to set up his shots and get in some real nice hard punches. I mean, he's moving beautifully. He's stopping, changing direction, and landing some good shots, out-punching Riddick Bowe, who's missing.
I have the score 4-2 and 1 for Bowe.
So the fight appears to be narrowing somewhat in margin as we go into the 8th round. The 7th, another tough round to score. Interesting that our Harold Letterman gave it to Donald by punch stat numbers. He only threw 18 punches in the round. Riddick Bowe threw 34. But Donald did connect at a higher percentage.
Bowe is so effective when he decides to use his left jab.
Only twice in his previous 16 fights as a professional has Larry Donald gone past the 7th round. Bowe, as you know, no stranger to 12-round trips. He did it twice against Evander Holyfield.
Punches up, come on.
Donald takes a rest by holding, which is wise.
Then he gets back up on his toes and bounces.
Whenever Bowe wants, he just reaches down to his to Donald's body with a left jab. This should not happen to a boxer.
But he does it one punch at a time, George. I mean, Riddick Bowe has been reduced to throwing one punch at a time by Larry Donald's legs and occasionally by his hands.
Donald, to beat an internationally known fighter like this, you got to throw a few more punches, even if you're going backwards.
Mills Lane looks like an elf walking among redwoods when he breaks these two guys up. Look, look.
He's a giant, almost 6'4", 6'5".
Donald backs into the corner, but then throws a combination and pushes Bowe across the ring, and Donald gets another rest as Bowe cuts him to the back of the head twice.
Hey, time. Quick, grab it. Let's go, come on.
Doesn't matter what the referee say, it's what you do. You keep grabbing.
Let's clean.
Bowe is the one holding. The referee can't see him.
I think Bowe shows some arm weariness too, George, despite the relatively low punch output.
He's so dependent at this time to get a knockout that he hasn't thought about putting together a combination.
Arcs a right hand over the top. That blow doesn't achieve the same effect that it did back in rounds 2, 3, and 4. Both fighters looking a little weary as round 8 comes to a close. Bowe the more active, at least for the moment, but then Donald wound things up with a left and a right.
Guys, fading fast.
I know.
Fading fast. I want you to keep after him with that jab and go to the body with that right hand, then follow with your left hook. We get the right hand at the head, he'll eventually come back to you. Now.
We got to pick it up. I want you to pick it up with him. Hey, you got all the hand feet, all the split feet. Use it. Use your hand feet, son. Don't just kill grounding him. When he charges you, you have to be on the left or right hand, but a few times. He walks right into your right hand. Okay? Let him walk into your right hand, Larry. Come back with your hook. Okay. So, come on, you got to pick it up. You want to fight? You want to fight, you would act like it. You would act like you want it now. You want to go get it, you got to go get it. So you pick it up.
So far, Riddick Bowe hasn't looked like the best heavyweight in the world. It's hard to look like that against Donald, but if Donald becomes aggressive, we might see something happen.
Yeah, but for entertainment value as heavyweight fights go, Larry, we got to say it. Moore or Foreman, it ain't. Holyfield Bowe, it ain't. It's just Bowe Donald. That's what it is.
Well, it's also Donald Bowe because the way Donald's fighting, it's not designed for high drama.
Donald hits him with the back of the hand, and Mills Lane says, no. We don't throw backhand punches here. We don't slap. Bowe able to land a jab. Donald ties him up.
If Bowe would once fake his right hand and come back with a left hook, he can get that elusive knockdown he's been searching for.
Fake the right hand, come back with the left hook, huh?
Right. Donald has prepared to dive forward with his left shoulder, and he leaves himself wide open for a hook.
Now, should this follow off the jab? Should it be
No,
jab,
you don't need
fake,
a jab.
left hook? Don't need a jab. Just
Don't
fake
need a
the
jab.
Fake the right hand lead.
Fake the right hand leave, he'll drop for it, and you come back with your quick hook, not powerful, just quick.
But you know, George, it's awfully hard to fight a guy who's moving like this. For a big man like Bowe, it's like almost like he's trying to catch up to
He did come back with the hook this time. So he has it in mind, but he's got to take all the power off of the right hand Bowe has to. It has to be done without any power on the right hand.
Bowe still right hand conscious. He slipped the left hook in there for a second, but loaded up the right hand and tried to throw it for heavy leather.
The knockout, I believe, could really be there for Riddick Bowe if he just takes his time and go about it methodically. Do a lot of thinking. Donald's having a lot of trouble with his right eye.
Swinging overhand right lands for Bowe. He's had a pretty good round here.
Watch the head, come on.
And Larry Donald has begun to look as ineffective as he was in the first 3 rounds.
Because of that right eye, he's starting to protect it right. And Bowe can see that. He smells it.
Now the crowd chants for Bowe. You have the impression some of the people who were earlier chanting for Donald may now be chanting for Bowe.
Now, Donald has to have a good corner now. Work on that eye.
They've got to work on his spirit, George, because it seems right now that he's given up.